welcome back to another episode of Over the Glass. I am your host, Jay.
I'm Nessa. Thanks for joining us this week.
So, Sharks are starting a homestand. We come back from a road trip that we got 2 wins and we got 2 losses, and the Sharks were a bit sleepy coming into the night's game. I didn't catch the whole first period, but when I did finally tune in after the Rangers game, got to see Phil Kessel score his 400th goal, and really great that we can give that gift to him because we're just so generous like that. He comes in blowing past Benning, which folks have quite a bit of opinions of him being a terrible pickup by Greer, but my thoughts are currently pending on that. I'm trying to absorb all the changes that the Sharks have made right now, and frankly, I really haven't seen Benning do anything in particular that outshines all the other mistakes that the Sharks are making on the ice. Do you have any feelings about Benning?
Not really. I'm pretty neutral too. I do remember him having a really nice assist in the game. I can't remember which game now, but I think it was against the Lightning. And was it the Sturm goal? The really nice, snipe he threw in there?
I think it was the Flyers where they had a miscommunication getting out of the zone, and Benning jumped in to pick up the loose puck and dropped it down to Nico Sturm. So, I mean, he's not outshining anybody, but I don't feel like he's...
No one was expecting him to.
To me at the moment, I don't feel like he's doing so many mistakes to the point where I'm willing to throw him in the trash at the moment, especially at a salary hit of less than 1.5 million. At the moment, we're 11 games in. Everybody is still getting used to the system and finding chemistry. So my thoughts on him are currently pending. But regardless, Phil Kessel blows past him, just scores a really nice goal right past Reimer, who was incredibly pissed off after that. Reimer is, he's very zen and he's very happy when we get to interact with him. But his reaction after that, he swatted it right out of his net. He definitely didn't want to give that one up. But so the Knights get through the first period with the lead on us, and then the Sharks get going in the second period. Another great goal by Nico Sturm, gets the feed from Kevin LeBanc, and then also Svechnikov is also in there for the secondary assist. So great to see that he's continuing on his, I think, 5-goal streak now. I think Erik Karlsson is leading us in goals, and I want to say that Nico Sturm is right behind him, which would be nice if our top lines that got more time on ice than Nico Sturm were also contributing to that goal count, which they're getting there, but they're not where they need to be. Nieto got a nice goal in the second period for the Knights game. Just a really nice feed from, I think it was Hurdle. Yep. So missed pass connection from the Knights in the Sharks zone leads to a pickup by Hurdle. Just a really sweet feed right up to Nieto, who's just waiting there to enter the Knights zone and gets it right past Hill. And then the Knights have been struggling a bit with figuring out their own chemistry with getting with changing coaches in the off season. So they said peace out to Pete DeBoer, who's now with the Dallas Stars, and they go pick up the previous coach from the Boston Bruins. 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 And so I saw that they were kind of juggling up their lines, and they were breaking up the Misfits line, which is essentially 3 of the 5 remaining Knights from the inaugural season. And they were like moving them around in the lineup, and I think the Knights were kind of like up and down for a little bit, and now they've reunited them. And as much as I don't like the Knights, I have to give them credit that line is effective, because that line got the next 2 goals against us. It's Marchessault, it's Karlsson, it's Riley Smith. The first of the 2 misfit goals, a scramble and face-off that winds up on Theodore's stick at the point and finds its way through traffic past Reimer. The next goal after that is Riley Smith feeds a breakout pass to William Karlsson, entering the neutral zone on the attack. And this is the one that stings, because Karlsson tried to stand up William Karlsson at the neutral zone. And William Karlsson reads it.
He got burned.
And goes the other way. Yeah, and I'm just like, And just, yeah. So, the wrong Karlsson scores. And then, yep, the dagger at the end, the 4th Knights goal. Mark Stone tips it backdoor on the cross-ice feed from Stevenson. I don't know what Couture was doing there, because Couture saw that Stone was open and he's like, okay, I gotta go get Stone, right? But then Stone is still moving towards the net to get, available to, if the puck gets anywhere near there, to tap it home. So I don't really know what Couture was doing. Couture sees Stone is open and he goes to defend him, but he just lets Stone continue effortlessly to make his way open to the net behind Reimer and puts the dagger in. We lose 2-4. So that game, again, where were our top guys? I mean, Timo is shooting. He got 8 shots on goal, but then Hurdle and Couture got 1 each, so not good enough. But Erik Karlsson getting 3 shots on goal. Standouts to me during that game was Barabara, Nico Sturm, and Nieto.
Sharks never play well against the Knights, so it's not like I was surprised by it. The thing I was kind of a little surprised by how well they played them up until that 3rd period where they imploded.
Yeah, it wasn't going to be a easy matchup. It's crappy to lose against the Knights, but I think the next game really started to show that the Sharks are not ready to take this one line down. We're still early in the season, and we go up against the Leafs, and less than a minute into the game, and Couture gets a really nice goal to get us up by 1. And when I was rewatching this goal, it's probably going to piss off Leafs fans that Matthews was right there. Couture was his guy. And it wasn't like they were battling each other in front of the net, and then, Couture just, got lucky and got his stick on it. No, Couture slithered in there unnoticed. Let's see. They got the go-ahead pass from Barbara to Matt Nieto in the neutral zone, and Justin Hull kind of tips it out of his possession. So they're fighting to grab possession of it into the offensive zone. And Couture is coming down from the slot behind Matthews. So he just is Matthews is watching this play happen. And he doesn't really see Couture as the potential threat coming down the slot. And then a puck just finds its way on the doorstep. I think Hull tripped or something. He was doing some weird, he did not have control of his body. And the puck just finds its way to the doorstep of the crease, and Couture steps in and backhands it glove side past Shaldren. And right off the bat, I just want to say, Poor Sheldon. He came in last season towards the last 10, 15 games, I want to say, for the Leafs, because Campbell and Mrazek were playing Who Wants to Be Injured today. So they were both going down. So obviously you've got to dig down into your AHL and pull up this, the next guy up. The Leafs are going through some injuries in the back end. So that's one point. Another point is they haven't been very good on the defense. So when you're not very good on the defense and you've got your rookie goalie, like, they've got offense. I mean, they've got Marner, they've got Nylander, they've got Austin Matthews. So their offense is just fine. But when you don't have defense and when you've got your rookie goalie in net, I just feel for this rookie goalie. And I felt that every time the Sharks, I mean, I wanted those goals, but every time the Sharks scored, I'm like, this poor guy.
Yeah, it's not his fault.
But then the Leafs come back. So Leafs enter the O-zone, and the Sharks and Leafs got off on a change. So they're like coming in through the neutral zone. They're getting some fresh bodies, and the Sharks just get caught watching the puck. I mean, like, Camp comes in and just slips in undetected because he's coming in off the change, and the Sharks are just watching this play happen, and he just gets like a nice snipe past Kokkonen 5-hole. Like, okay, that's a mistake that you can work on. It's shitty to see.
Then Couture gets his second goal, right?
Right. So in the second period, that's when we show up again. This is when we went on the 5-on-3. And normally that doesn't mean anything. Normally we're like, sure, okay. But I really liked how the Sharks were moving the puck. I mean, obviously, when you're on 5-on-3, it's easier to get the defense to kind of give you more time and space because they have less bodies out there. You have more ability to move the puck. But they knew that they needed to take advantage of this opportunity because they were puck movement. It was like just nice, solid puck movement. And then just finding the lanes through the middle of the ice. The right side pass from Erik Karlsson to Barbara, who just does a quick touch pass over to Couture to get the easy tap in the back door. Beautiful. Mwah. Yes.
I was surprised that they actually scored.
I know. Like I said, I mean, usually we're like, sure, it's a power play. Who cares? Like, it doesn't mean anything in terms of us. Like, other teams, they might get excited. Us, we're like, oh God. But they do. And it was an exciting goal. And then, of course, because it's a 5-on-3, one guy gets to leave the penalty box and we're still on the power play. Sharks capitalize again. Mm-hmm. Tip goal in front of Timo Meier for the point shot by Couture. Preemptive celebration for Couture's Hattie. But it goes to Timo Meier, which, yes, we're not picky. Please, hallelujah. He's got a goal.
Hopefully he starts scoring soon, like goes on a tear.
I mean, he's definitely getting the most shots on goal, so he's gonna. I'm feeling confident. Yeah, no, I mean, he knows I've got to get this puck out there, and I'm not worried about him. I'm not worried about him at all. Like, I think he's getting there. So, second period was really great. And then right before we end the period, frickin' Mitch Marner just has to keep things interesting and gets a goal right before the end of the period. Late goal in the second. Terrible no-look drop pass by Timo. High in the O-zone. I don't know if they've probably done this before, but it didn't execute very well. and led to an odd man 4-on-2 rush against the Leafs' top line. So then we enter second intermission going, okay, that was fun, but now we're a little concerned about the third period. Let's see. So third period, Austin Matthews gets a goal off the power play. It's the top line on the power play. Great puck movement, plain and simple. Austin Matthews scores goals. It's going to happen. Even against our I think we're third right now, or at least in the top 5 for penalty kill units. I think they're in the middle of the pack, but even still, Austin Matthews is a goal scorer. So if you give him the opportunity to get, clear shot at the goal, more times than not, he's going to score. So he does. So that ties up the game, and we go into overtime. Overtime, Sharks goal. Broken up pass by, this was sweet. Broken up
It was
pass.
so pretty.
It was. Broken up pass from Nylander to Sandin. And this is kind of where I go back to talking about the Leafs are injured on the back end. I read that Justin Hall is being asked to shoulder a bigger role than he's actually meant to. So, and then the same thing goes with Sandin. So, Nylander's trying to pass to Sandin. It gets broken up by Timo Meier. So, they're deep in the Shark zone, but then it leads to a go-ahead pass to none other than Erik Karlsson, all alone in neutral zone. Backhand deke. Shaldren bites hard. Back to forehand to open net for the win. Beautiful. Awesome. Taking advantage of a terrible play. And so, in conclusion to that game, poor Shaldren. Timo Meier, once again, 6 shots on goal. Erik Karlsson, 7 shots on goal. Game winner for Erik Karlsson. Timo Meier finally gets off the goal drought.
Finally. Karlsson, MVP, coming into the next game against the
That's
Lightning.
what's up. And then finally we get to the Sharks and the Bolts game, which overall I had a lot of fun with this game, even though we lost against them, even though that late goal in the third that got the Bolts the win over us is it's frustrating, but it was a very exciting game.
Yeah, it hurt, but it wasn't like super devastating because it's not like we're expecting a lot from this team right now, but it was a good loss.
I mean, we're going up against the team that went to the finals last season. Yeah, they didn't win it in it, but they did the last couple of years, so they're definitely doing something right. They still have their core intact. Why else would we not expect them to come in and look just as good as they did over the last 3 seasons? So we definitely had our work cut out for us. The Bolts goal, Sharks did not start on time. They allowed the Bolts to come in with speed, commanding the rush. Vlasic pushes point to the outside, but fails to prevent the pass from being executed to Hedman. And Hedman is a scorer. He is their equivalent of our Erik Karlsson. He's gonna score the goal. You can't let him get into a good position to do that. And they did. Okay, fine. But the Sharks come back from none other than Erik Karlsson. Wow, I feel like I'm saying his name a lot, which is great. Battle down low on the left side of the Sharks zone. The puck comes loose. Stamkos is trying to one-touch backhand pass this over to Paul in the slot. And it looks like Hurdle interferes with that pass ever so subtly, causes, I think maybe he hits the stick or like the puck gets a little, redirected, whatever the case may be. It looks like a routine play that gets interfered with, and it trickles out to the far side, wide open ice, to none other than Erik Karlsson, who comes down, snipes it home. So, we've got our goals coming early from the top defensemen on both teams. Exciting. And on top of that, it's against Vasilevsky. So every time we score against Vasilevsky, I feel extra excited because he's insane.
Yeah. He's elite.
Unfortunately, the Bolts are not going to take this sitting down. They know how to battle back, and we take a penalty. Don't do it. Bolts power play goals. Sharks can't get it out. Bolts are taking shots left and right, and eventually it finds Ross Colton in the back door, taps it home. Frustrating, but not unexpected. Oh, and Bolts are 10th in the league on the power play. So, yeah, don't take penalties against really good teams. It's going to come back and bite us. But then,
even if the PK is really good.
Mm-hmm. So we go into the second period, down 1, but none other than Nico Sturm comes in and makes something happen. MVP. Wow, this guy is coming up a lot. Right.
That's Stanley Cup champion Nico Sturm to you.
I mean, he knows it's definitely a mindset that these guys who go through the grind to get to the finals, and I mean, they know what needs to be done. The Sharks' goal, pass up to the neutral zone from Vlasic to Kunin, who enters the zone, feeds up to Sturm at the point, who just gets this nice snipe past Vasilevsky, short side top shelf. So just
it was beautiful
play. Nice play by the Sharks. So they're coming together. Like I'm liking seeing these mistakes that we've been seeing in the beginning of the season starting to get refined. And even though we didn't win this game, it's nice to see that those little things are being worked on. And especially coming from guys who don't get a whole lot of ice time, but understand the value each time they do get on the ice, and making the most of it. Sadly, Bolts come back. This comes from Killorn. He's able to get down low and snipe one past Reimer. Just another mistake. Just things. I mean, the Bolts are, they've got elite players on their top 2 lines, and this is just an unfortunate mistake that the Sharks make by allowing them to get command of the ice. Sharks power play goal, face-off win shortly after that by Hurdle, retrieved by Timo Meier, past to EK65, who sets up on the point. Love those goals by Erik Karlsson. Unfortunately, late in the game, the Bolts take it back. Once again, letting the top line set up. So, takeaways. Erik Karlsson. Top guys.
Beautiful.
Starting to show themselves. Close games between the Leafs and the Bolts, who have high caliber players on their top 2 lines. Power play is getting better and starting to produce. They've just got to tighten up that defense and reduce the number of mistakes, especially against good teams and good players.
Is it me, or are you getting a little excited about Sharks hockey again?
Oh, it's definitely not just you. I am feeling excited. I am keeping my excitement to a realistic level because I know that, like, I'm not, oh man, yeah, we're finally gonna turn this around. No. I just want to have good games this season because last season was just awful. It was just sad.
It's a
It
train
was,
wreck.
yeah, a lot of things were happening that just got me frustrated with, I mean, no, not to anyone in particular, every now and then in direction of Bob Bugner, but generally speaking, this team was just no longer working, and we really just needed a change, which ended up coming on the unfortunate departure of Doug Wilson, incoming Mike Greer, who was actually probably a good segue into a topic that came up, what, 2 days ago, where Greer had told media folks that he was open to hearing trades from just about everyone, with the exception of Tomas Hurdle. That, I mean, on one hand, this is not new. Of course, he would be open to trades. Like, look at our team. Like, what is he supposed to do with us, right? So there's two things that could happen here, or at least two main things. We could go in the direction of the Montreal Canadiens, who are prioritizing development over results. So, I mean, they're winning games. Are we going to see them in the Cup final this season? Probably not. But it was only, what, 2 seasons ago, or the season that just passed. I'm getting them mixed up right now, but I think they made a coaching change at some point during the season, and they brought in Marty St. Louis, who now you're starting to see what Cole Caulfield is capable of. Yesterday, I think he got 2 goals and an assist. So they're coming together. They are focused on developing their young guys, and they, like, unlike the Blackhawks, who this offseason, they were wholesale. They are like, no, we are legit in a rebuild. Get all these guys off a roster. They even talked to Patrick Kane and to Jonathan Toews. They're like, hey, you want out? We're we're blowing this stuff up. And they decided, no, we want to stick around and whatever. So, of course, with guys like that, and I'd imagine they have some other things in their contract that allow them to have say. They can't just get shipped it off. And, and they also have been in that franchise for a long time. So, I mean, in a way, we're kind of in that situation as well. We've got Erik Karlsson's contract. We have Vlasic. We have Couture. I mean, we traded off Brett Burns this offseason. So the reality is we're kind of in a situation where we can't really go in the direction of the Blackhawks because nobody wants those contracts. No one's going to help us out with those.
Right.
I think Shang Peng had mentioned that if a team is going to consider those contracts, they're looking for a bargain. So they're, if someone like Vlasic isn't, I mean, if he's just being a steady defenseman, like, why would they want to take even if we retained 50% of that contract and he went over to a team at like 3.5 million? Who cares? They can easily get somebody who, if like a mid-line defenseman, they could get someone in there much younger and cheaper. So that's not going to help us. Erik Karlsson has a no movement clause in his contract, and then I think Couture might also have the same. So at the end of the day, it's intriguing, but it's not anything new. Of course, Greer is going to be interested in seeing what mess he can clean up from the previous GM, because he wants to make this team his own. It'll be interesting to see if anything will develop from that, but I'm not really getting too excited about it, because we'll just have to wait and see if he can pull off some magic. So that's mostly all the Sharks talk that we've got for today. I will just do a quick shout out to EK65. I know everyone's got their opinions and about him, but you know what? I like him, and he's doing his best that he can. He's not going to be able to shoulder this entire team through all of our messes as much as like folks expect somebody who's making that much on a team. At the end of the day, it's a team. The other guys need to help out. And I saw right before we hopped onto the pod that Mark Method, I think that's how you say his name. He was a defenseman on the Senators. He was paired with Erik Karlsson when they were both there. And there was a video that was tweeted, I think yesterday, with a play from back when they were both in the Senators. Method was behind the net, and he just passes it to Erik Karlsson, who's off on the left side boards, and Erik Karlsson just streams right through neutral zone into the offensive zone and scores a goal. And he made the sarcastic comment about how he had to carry Erik Karlsson the whole time, and that's what made him great. Basically commenting the fact that he's an elite defenseman, and which he is, and that's all I really got to say about that.
Big Erik Karlsson supporters on this channel.
Alrighty, so that's all we got for you this week. So I am your host, Jay. I'm here with Nessa, and we'll see you on the next episode. Take care.